everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a fantastic weekend. Happy New Year. I have said it on the main channel, but this is the first chance I'm going to get to say it here. So Happy New Year. That is, unless you've already watched the Chicken and Garden Update, but I know not everybody watches the Chicken and Garden Update, so I will say it again. I said it in the Chicken and Garden Update, but well, you know what I mean. Anyway, I wasn't supposed to be doing a Sunday musing this week. And then I had some spare time and Kate Walton Elliott has been busy with another project. So I was like, I'll do the Sunday musing for this week and she'll probably do one in a couple of weeks' time. But one thing that's been kind of running through my head a lot over the last couple of weeks while I've been home enjoying some much needed R&R is what the actual transition from CCS Type 1 to NACS, the North American Charging Standard, will actually look like in the real world. Obviously, just before the holidays, the Society of Automotive Engineers, it's not called that anymore, something else, published official documentation making NACS an official J3400, I want to say, I might be wrong, making it an official standard for charging EVs. And so technically we now know what the standard should look like, how it should operate and all of that good stuff. But I'm curious as to what you think the transition to NACS will actually look like in the real world. The camera right now is perched on the back of my Ford F-150 Lightning pickup, which of course is going to be one of the first vehicles to gain access to Tesla's Supercharger network, hopefully in the next month or so. And on the main channel, Kate and I will be putting various different adapters through their paces. At least that's our hope. We've been in contact with some different companies and hopefully we'll get some samples to test out. So watch this space. But I'm curious what it will really be like in everyday use. A lot of people have implied that they believe the transition to NACS will be completely easy and simple and nothing will go wrong. And I would love to believe that that will be the case, but I've worked in the automotive industry for way too long to actually believe that that will happen. I think there's going to be, inevitably there will be issues and things going wrong and there will be ups and downs and ins and outs, and I would love to be able to confidently stand here and tell you that it's all going to be plain sailing. But you know, I have a Chevrolet Bolt EV as my other vehicle. It belongs to my wife. It's her primary vehicle. Obviously it belongs to both of us, but it's her primary vehicle. But because I don't like driving the F-150 Lightning around and it's just me, and the weather's bad and I don't want to take the electric scooter, I will take my wife's car. And so I do drive it a fair amount. I'm actually taking it up to Seattle this weekend for a convention rather than taking the truck because it's easier to park, it uses less energy, and if there is a power cut, which there might be because there's a winter storm on the way, the truck is actually going to be able to back the home up, fingers crossed. But I know that the Bolt EV is not going to be one of those vehicles that I think is going to instantly just start working. It doesn't have plug and charge. So if you are a Bolt EV owner, you need to have a way of paying for your charge at a Tesla Supercharger. We still don't know if it's going to be supported. In the back of my head, I think it's certainly conceivable that General Motors goes, no, we're not going to roll any support into it. And maybe Tesla's going to go, no, we don't want people with 50 kilowatt capable EVs charging. We only want to accept higher power charging EVs. And so that is a question that is up in the air and something that I am honestly not sure what the outcome of that would be, which is a shame because cars like the Chevrolet Bolt EV are the ones that really could use more access to charging stations, because if you own a Chevrolet Bolt EV, you probably charge more than you would if you had a larger vehicle like the F-150 Lightning. And they obviously also can't charge as quickly, so being able to access plenty of reliable charging is really important for those kind of earlier EVs. The good news though is that we've heard that various people online have been working on open source and third-party adapters to go from CHAdeMO to CCS. And if you can go from CHAdeMO to CCS, hopefully you can then go from CCS to NACS. That's what I would hope. I'm sure some companies will be developing a product at some point in the future. It would make no sense for a company not to make a product like that. So fingers crossed that someone somewhere is thinking about it. But only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But the first question I have is, how long will it take before NACS access really happens? We've been told January, February, at least those are the rumours on the grapevine. Nothing official has come down the line yet. But if it is really January, February, will there be software problems? Will there be teething problems? We know, for example, it took a year for Ford to figure out the vehicle-to-home backup system for my particular truck. Some people had theirs working sooner, but it was a year before my truck properly worked on that. How do we know it's not going to be a year before NACS to CCS becomes a really useful thing? And we still don't know when vehicles with NACS inlets as standard are going to start rolling out. We don't know if companies like Ford are going to offer retrofit capabilities for existing owners who just want to go the whole hog and go to NACS, and maybe they'll be able to order a part and have their dealer fit it and go from a CCS to a NACS inlet just overnight kind of thing. And also, you know, what about the vehicle to home system? I have a truck that relies on CCS to provide power back to my home in a power cut. Is Ford or other companies going to come up with an adapter that allows you to do that with a NACS compatible EV in the future? For example, what happens if I crash my truck? My truck gets written off and I can't get another CCS one and I have to get a NACS one. Who will help to make sure that my existing hardware will work with a new vehicle? It's all up in the air. So I guess I've just listed off a whole list of we don't knows. And I think the industry as a whole right now is we don't know. And, you know, I have spoken to plenty of people in the industry and they're all saying the same thing. It's like, we really don't know where things are going to lie yet. We're just going to have to wait and see. And so this is the year of the transition to NACS. But how will it really shape out? Will we all be using superchargers by the end of the year? Are Electrify America charging stations suddenly going to fall into disrepute and disrepair? They already are. Side note, there's one near me in a nearby town that's just opened. I say nearby. It's a fair way. Okay, I can tell you where it is because it's nowhere near my house. There's a charging station at a Fred Meyer in Hillsborough that's just off Highway 26. And it had new charging stations put in just at the end of last year. I say just at the end of last year. They were actually put in August, September, but they've spent the last few months turned off. They were finally turned on just before the holidays. And I met someone at them the other day, and of the 6 charging stations, none of which support CHAdeMO, by the way, 2 of them were out of action already after less than a month of service. So, but yeah, I am curious to know if we're still going to be having to rely on unreliable charging stations like EA by this time next year if we don't own a Tesla. And there are lots of people who don't want to own a Tesla, me included, right? I prefer the vehicles I have for many reasons I'm not going to go into here. Lots of people who can't afford to buy a brand new car and are using older vehicles with CCS. How easy is it going to be for them? Where are they going to be in 366 days' time? Because remember, it's a leap year this year, which is pretty cool. I like leap years. Anyway, I hope that your new year went well. I hope that your Christmas break or whatever break it was for you went well. And yeah, here's to 2024. Let's make a difference this year. Let's be awesome. Let's make sure if we live in North America, in the US specifically, that we're registered to vote to take part in the presidential elections. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me today. And if you've got thoughts, make sure you leave them below in our Discord chat room, or you can reach out to us on Mastodon. Thanks to the amazing list of people scrolling on your screen right now. They are some of the more than 1,500 people who help fund this channel through Patreon and YouTube. They help cover our bills, pay our team, and make sure that we can be 100% independent. If you'd like to join them, and of course see your name listed here, just follow the links below. There are a range of different tiers you can sign up for, from as little as just $1 a month, or if you pay yearly, just under $11 a year. A huge welcome to our newest supporters, Nathan Plowman, Hanno, Bender, Estelle, and Sarah J. Goodfriend. If you'd like to support us with a one-off donation, you'll find links below to make Ko-fi and Bitcoin donations. And we even have a good old-fashioned PO box you can reach us at. The address is linked to below. And if you're in need of some swag, you should also check out our swag store in the down below too. We've got some great content coming up, so make sure you're subscribed on PeerTube or YouTube, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget, we make new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want more, the mighty algorithm thinks you'll like this video, but we think that this one is also worth a look. See you soon, and as always, keep evolving.